G'day, my name's Almanzo and today I'm going to show you the Racewell JR. This is our entry-level sheep handler. There's no auto drafting. It's just designed to take the physical strain out of handling sheep. You don't require any power, just an air compressor. So starting off with the lead-up race, it's a fixed width lead-up race, unlike the rest of the Racewell sheep handlers which have an adjustable width. You also have two spring-loaded backing flaps which you have adjustable height. These can also be easily removed as well. And you've also got the catch button on the lead-up race. This allows you to operate the catch from standing back in the lead up to the machine. This gives you the ability to catch the sheep while standing behind it, unlike other manual operated sheep handlers. So next we have what we call the auto gate. This is what opens and closes to stop that next sheep from pushing through. We do have a removable piece of plastic here. This just helps with the flow because that sheep in the lead up can see through the entry gate, which helps draw it through. So there's a few ways this auto gate can be operated. Like it is at the moment, it's in the locked position, which is operated off this switch. So when you activate the catch and the release, this entry gate won't open and close. So this is great when you're drenching or maybe giving them a vaccine or a back liner. It will stay open the whole time, which helps that next one push in behind. If we put it to the operate on the catch function, when we activate the catch, this gate closes. So if you're weighing or crutching, you'll need to have it in that position so the gate shuts off the next animal. We can also put the switch in the locked position when the gate's closed. So that this means I can release that sheep out of the handler and then walk back into the sheep yards and bring some more sheep through, and they're not going to push their way through the handler. This gate's going to stay closed the whole time. We also have what's called the opposite auto gate. This allows you to adjust the gate in and out depending on the flow of the sheep. So if you want to slow them down, you can move this gate in. This means they have to push through a bit more. The Racewell JR doesn't have any magic eyes, which like the automatic machines do. So it's very basic to operate. You've just got your catch, your release button, and then if you have the optional drafting gates out in front, you'll be able to operate them off this switch. And then you've also got your entry gate switch. As standard, the Racewell JR comes with dummy low bars. This means in the future, if you want to add a scale system, you can insert your low bars underneath the machine and then mount the scale indicator on the stand here. So it's very easy to upgrade in the future. So pressing the catch button once allows enough pressure to catch the animal in most situations. If you do need to apply more pressure, say if you're tipping it over on its side, you can just press the catch button again and that will give it a bit more air. When crutching in the Racewell JR, there's two ways to do it. As standard, the Racewell JR doesn't come with tilt. So in that situation, it'll be a stand-up crutch. Otherwise, if you get it with a side tilt with a crutching flap, which is what's shown here, you can tip it over on its side, open up the flap, which gives you a lot better access to a full belly crutch. So as standard, you do have this access gate, which folds back on itself. So if you've caught the sheep and you want to do a stand-up crutch or a bunghole, you can come in here and you got good access to a stand-up dag. However, if you get the side tilt with the crutching flap option, you can close this gate back and use the foot pedal to tip it over on its side. It will only tilt as far as you keep the foot pedal down. So you can stop it at any point. Once that's tipped over, you can then open the flap, and that allows you really good access to do a full belly crutch. So it's very easy to adjust the clamp ball depending on the size sheep you're doing. simply just release the air out of the ram by pushing it forward and back, and then we can disconnect this pin, which is a stainless pin, and then disconnect this pin at the front, and then you can just readjust the wool. So that's at the widest position now, so we'll just move it back to how it was before. The second hole in from the inside is the most common setting. So with the Racewell JR, it comes standard with what we call the front extension plate and the rear daggers plate. These are great features if you do decide to add a scale system in the future. It extends the weighing zone. So from the rear right through to the front of the extension plate is all on the scales. So the optional upgrades you can get with the Racewell JR, firstly the side tilt with a crutching flap as shown on this machine. You can also get it fitted with the three-way drafting gates out in front. That's controlled off this lever valve here. You can also get it with the scale system of your choice. And when considering a scale option, you can get the EID reader built into the actual clamp wall, and that does provide a really good read range. Otherwise people will tend to use a portable stick reader. The next option is, if you do have the drafting gates, you can get a trailer system for the machine, and we also sell just a skid frame. So if you just want a simple skid frame to go underneath the machine that you can use your front end loader or skid steer to pick it up and move it, that's quite a cost effective option. And lastly, we do have the anti-jump bar, which just bolts onto these two mounts here, and that just stops any sheep trying to jump out the side of the handler. So the Racewell Sheep Handlers are all made here in New Zealand using Australian steel, and they're fully hot dip galvanised after fabrication. If you'd like more information on our range of sheep handlers, please give us a call or visit our website.